living on planet Earth, you know full well that over the last few years, the two biggest gaming franchises in history have been releasing what are considered some of the best animated movies out there. But have you ever stopped to wonder, how did the rivalry between Mario and Sonic actually start? When it comes to the movies, we can't deny that Sonic got there first, mostly because he's faster. Couldn't resist that cheesy joke. The first Sonic movie was released in 2020, while the Super Mario Bros. Movie only hit theaters 3 years later, in 2023. However, in terms of audience and revenue, we can say that at least for now, Mario remains unbeatable. That's because the first movie raked in a total of $1.36 billion at the box office, which is more than the first 3 Sonic movies combined. And those were already massive hits, bringing in a total of $1.214 billion. And there's more. If we add the first movie to the earnings of Super Mario Galaxy, which currently stands at $850 million, the first 2 films in the Mario franchise alone have already surpassed $2 billion. It's pretty much like Mario and Luigi are swimming in a pool of gold coins like Disney's Scrooge McDuck. And by all accounts, the rivalry between the Mario and Sonic movie franchises is just getting started, since both have dozens of stories that could still be turned into big screen features. To give you an idea, the competition between these two characters in the cinematic world is so intense that the projection is for at least one of the franchises to release a movie every single year. For instance, Super Mario Galaxy was released in 2026, and the next film featuring the Plumber Brothers is scheduled for 2028, meaning just a 2-year gap from the previous one. However, 2027 is already slated for the release of Sonic 4, which will feature Amy Rose as one of the lead characters. And many believe that Sonic 5 could very well be released in 2029, the year after Super Mario 3, which is what we're calling the third Mario movie for now. In other words, the battle in theaters between Mario and Sonic promises to be absolutely insane. Lucky for us, of course. But long before this fight reached the silver screen, these two heroes were already duking it out for the hearts of gamers. And believe it or not, they've even fought each other in a game that brought both characters into a fighting arena. Want to know everything about this literal war between Sonic and Mario? Stick around with us, because we're about to blow your mind today. The truth is, all of this started a long time ago, back when many fans of the two gaming heroes movies weren't even born yet. It all began in the distant year of 1981, which was when Mario came into the world. Still going by the name Jumpman, he appeared in a Donkey Kong game as the hero tasked with rescuing the lady kidnapped by the mean gorilla, in true King Kong style. 2 years later, that Jumpman guy finally got a new name and a game to call his own: Mario Brothers. From then on, the games featuring the plumber, who kept jumping to save the damsel in distress, who wasn't always Peach, just took off and made his owner Nintendo the biggest video game manufacturer in the world. To give you an idea, out of every 10 consoles in the United States at that time, 9 were from Nintendo. In other words, practically absolute dominance. However, after watching the Japanese creators of Mario swim in cash for 10 years, a little blue hedgehog that moved like lightning emerged in 1991. The era of Sonic had begun. The design and the idea behind the blue hedgehog brought several elements that were the polar opposite of Mario. For example, one of Sonic's traits was tapping his foot on the ground when you didn't move the controller, indicating impatience. This was intentional to attract teenagers who, at the time, thought Mario games were too kiddie. Exactly for that reason, Sonic's strength was running, while Mario's strength was jumping, clearly showing that the two characters were different in everything, even in how they defeated their enemies. Furthermore, if you stop to think about it, you'll notice that Sonic's colors are blue, red, and white, the same as the American flag. This was intended to oppose Mario, who was an Italian plumber created by the Japanese. And all of this worked so well that after the launch of the Sega Genesis, the console released to compete with the Super Nintendo, Sonic's mere presence on the box made the company sell twice as many games as Nintendo in that year of 1991. The rivalry between the two characters is so deep that if you watch the Sonic movies, you'll remember there's a mushroom planet, which is exactly where Robotnik ends up. At the end of the first movie and the beginning of the second, we see Robotnik trying to use science to escape the fungal nightmare. which was definitely a major jab at the Mushroom Kingdom, the primary setting where Mario games take place, or at least where they begin. But beyond the main characters and even the worlds where the games take place, there are other characters from both games that almost seem like they were made to compete with each other, and in some ways, they're actually quite similar. If you're enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss any new videos. This is exactly the case with the two main female characters from both games, Amy and Peach. Many people have no idea, but the truth is they are practically the same person, just in different games and, of course, with different designs. To give you an idea, both characters are princesses. Peach is the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, as we know very well, and Amy Rose, in turn, in the first game she appeared in, called Sonic CD, was identified in the manuals as Princess Sally. However, it seems someone inside Sega, the creator of the Blue Hedgehog games, thought the similarity to Peach was too strong. And for that reason, they decided to strip Amy Rose of her royal status in subsequent games. But the similarities between the two characters don't stop there. That's because both originally had a very clear role, being the kidnapped damsels in distress who would serve as the main motivation for the heroes to progress through their games, facing various enemies to try and rescue them. Peach was always being kidnapped by Bowser, and Mario had the difficult task of defeating the King of the Koopas in a final battle to bring her back to the Mushroom Kingdom castle. Every now and then, he'd get a kiss on the cheek or the nose, and he was clearly in love with the princess, as is made clear in the movies too. In Amy's case, she is also kidnapped by Metal Sonic under the orders of Robotnik, Sonic's main enemy, in her debut game. This forced the hero to simultaneously stop Dr. Eggman's plans for world domination and free the pink hedgehog held captive by Metal Sonic. However, in both cases, we can see that both Peach and Amy eventually stopped being simple damsels in distress and became true warriors. In the case of the Mushroom Kingdom princess, the change in attitude really happened in her solo game called Super Princess Peach from 2005, where Bowser kidnaps Mario, Luigi, and Toad, and it's up to Peach to travel to Vibe Island to save the heroes using her magic parasol. And we don't even need to talk about the Peach from the movies, who is, without a doubt, the biggest badass in the Mario franchise films, being responsible for the highest number of knockouts so far. As for Amy Rose, her warrior version was presented for the first time in 1996 in the game Sonic the Fighters. She is pursued by the robot E100 from Eggman's E-series. At a certain point, she realizes she spent her whole life running away or waiting for Sonic to show up and save her. She decides to put a stop to it, summons her Pico Pico hammer, and destroys the robot on her own. In fact, Sega gave her the Pico Pico so she could fight without needing to throw punches, maintaining her more feminine and delicate image. It's actually the same hammer we see her using in the post-credits scene of Sonic 3, and that she will certainly use in Sonic 4, so after clearly stating that just as Mario and Sonic are rivals, Peach and Amy Rose also have their differences and similarities that pit them against each other. Besides Mario and Sonic or Peach and Amy Rose, we can spot another rivalry between the two franchises involving none other than Luigi and Tails. Both Luigi and Tails were born out of a necessity, as they were added to the games to allow for a second player who would help the main hero in his mission to save the damsel in distress and also in their adventures along the way. Historically, they represent the gateway for younger siblings and friends to join the adventure. Additionally, we can say for sure that loyalty is the primary trait of both, as no matter where or how, they are by the side of Mario and Sonic respectively. We can also mention another similarity, the fact that both have blood ties to the main character, since Luigi is Mario's biological twin brother, while Tails is Sonic's adoptive younger brother. But regardless of genetics, both feel a deep love and admiration for our heroes, which is why they never compete for the main spotlight and gladly accept the support role to see the main hero shine. That's why many younger siblings, like myself, prefer playing as Luigi or Tails over Mario or Sonic. But without a doubt, if Mario and Sonic were to face off head-to-head, we can be sure Luigi and Tails would do the exact same thing. Despite so much rivalry between the two protagonists of the two biggest and best franchises in the gaming world, there are, surprisingly enough, some moments where the two didn't fight. On the contrary, they stood side by side. The first happened in the game Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, released in 2007. The seed for this meeting was planted in 2001, when Sega stopped manufacturing consoles and began developing games for other platforms, including Nintendo consoles. For years, Shigeru Miyamoto, Mario's creator, and Yuji Naka, one of Sonic's creators, discussed the idea of making a game together. The perfect solution emerged in 2005 when Sonic's creator acquired the official rights to develop games for the Beijing Olympics. The company realized the Olympics provided the ideal setting to unite the blue hedgehog and the Italian plumber in a single game, as it would portray a global event based on friendly competition, sportsmanship, and fair rules. Sega proposed the idea to Nintendo, who accepted immediately, and the project was developed by the Sonic team under Miyamoto's strict supervision to ensure the Mushroom Kingdom Heroes universe was respected. The result? The original game for Wii and DS sold over 25 million copies worldwide, becoming one of the most successful crossover franchises in history. But hold on, there was still more. Because the following year, driven by the success of the previous crossover, the companies released Super Smash Bros. Brawl. During the development of Mario's next fighting game, fan pressure for Sonic reached astronomical levels. Sega accepted the terms, and in October 2007, the official announcement of Sonic joining Brawl broke the internet of that time. So much so that the game's official website went down on the day of the announcement due to massive traffic. The detail about Nintendo's game is that the blue hedgehog only appears in the game when hope is running out. Having not appeared in the entire story until the final 5 minutes, a blue streak crosses the screen at supersonic speed. Sonic hits the wings of Taboo, the game's villain, shattering them completely, interrupting his lethal attack and weakening him. The hedgehog breaks, gives his classic smirk, strikes a taunting pose, and joins Mario and the rest of the cast. In other words, Nintendo allowed the mascot that tried to destroy Mario in the 90s to be crowned as the great savior of its own universe in the final battle, cementing the absolute respect between the two legends. Now that's what I call a beautiful and healthy rivalry, don't you agree? We'll stop here, but you can still keep watching more incredible videos. Just click on either of these two appearing for you. Until next time.